Hello, it's Stuart, the Unrepentant Atheist. Thanks for tuning in. And I'm going to be doing one of these a week where I just sit in front of the camera and talk about what's been happening on my channel in the last week, any new thoughts which have occurred to me, anything really which I want to talk about in connection with, obviously, the topic of counter-apologetics, atheism. So, yeah, the first thing to say is that I really value the comments section below the video, and one of the first things I look at in the morning when I get up and have my breakfast, I go straight to the comments because I'm interested in following the debate. It's one of the things that I find interesting. It's a good forum. Okay, I know there are lots of other channels, but I've got I suppose I've got my sort of following, and people are having dialogues, and it's interesting to see how they go. It's also interesting to get feedback on my channel, even when it's critical. I must confess that when somebody posts a bit of a snarky comment and says something to the effect, "Oh, you're just making, you're just making thousands of views out of atheist experience clips, or you're not adding anything. Why don't you shut up and blah blah blah." Well, first of all, I've got a thick skin. Don't worry about that. That doesn't bother me. In fact, I've said that comments like that I can handle. What I don't like and what upsets and irritates me is dishonest theist comments. So yeah, I can handle the the snarky comments about my channel and how good it is or how bad it is or whatever. But what I tend to do with such comments, and I make no apology for this, is as soon as I see them, I pin them to the top of the page. And the great thing is that I don't have to reply to these comments. I don't have to waste energy on them. I'll let other people reply to them, which can be quite amusing. And there is somebody who I did pin to the top of a page who was basically saying, I think words to the effect that you're not adding any value to these videos. And I decided to pin him to the top. Generated about 80 replies on that one, and he had his work cut out dealing with all the criticism on his comment. I did get a lot of amusement out of that, and no apologies for it. If you're going to post comments like that, fair enough. You're entitled to your opinion, but be warned, you will get pinned to the top, and you will have to deal with other people who probably don't agree with you, and then you'll have to waste time replying to all those comments. So it's up to you. Okay, so yeah, so what I have got a kind of main topic I want to talk about, but before that, just some other comments about Matt. I know that I've been doing some videos. I did one video which showed his the evolution of Matt Dillahunty over, I don't know, 17 years, and we see how in the early years and the middle years, yeah, he loses his temper now and again, but more or less he's kind of patient with people, and he doesn't sort of lose his temper in a kind of sort of tantrumy way, which we've seen quite recently. And I showed 3 clips, early period, middle, both of which he appears actually quite reasonable, patient, etc., calm. And then I showed a recent clip where he completely loses it and gets off his chair and goes to the toilet. And the thing is, I don't blame him for getting upset. If I had to deal with the number of theists that he's dealt with, I also I would be losing my patience too. And especially, he's very sharp, and he can sense dishonesty in people when they call up, and unwillingness to engage and to accept points which he is very eloquently making and convincingly making points, and people are turning around and deliberately being sort of obtuse or uncooperative and dishonest. I can see why he's getting upset, and yeah, definitely I can appreciate that. But he's still the best atheist out there, in the sense that he can deal with any kind of attack. He can deal with extremely complex philosophical arguments for the existence of God and on morality. He can deal with scientific issues and anything really. We see apologists out. We see some people out there who struggle in certain areas, and if somebody phones up and they're well clued up in a particular area, even in science, physics, for example, even though Matt says, well, I'm not a scientist, but he usually knows enough to rebut what is being said. So he's still the best all-round counter-apologist out there, in my book. So, yeah, somebody mentioned that he sometimes plays chess while he's on the line. The reason he plays chess is because he's obviously an extremely intelligent person, and he gets bored. I know he gets bored. I also would get bored. He's also able to multitask, which means that he can play chess, and we can see him playing chess, and he can also monitor the points that are being made, because we've seen him sometimes cut in when Jimmy is dealing with something, and then we've seen him sometimes stop playing chess. He hears something and he'll come in. Yeah, so he can actually do that. He can multitask, because playing chess, he's using one part of his brain to play chess, and with the other part of his brain, he's actually monitoring what's going on in the conversation. So I don't blame him for playing chess at all, if it helps him to get through the shows. Yeah, so, okay, yeah, so I've had quite a few people commenting to the effect that I'm piggybacking on other content. I don't know if a lot of people realize this, but when I started my channel just over a year ago, I didn't do that. I made this kind of video where I talked about various apologetics positions, and I critiqued them and commented on them to the best of my ability, limited ability. And most of my first 1,000 subscriber base was actually built up on that kind of content. It was only, I think, in November last year, October, November, I thought, oh, it might be fun to, it might be interesting to go back at some of that, and and comment on the actual calls that are coming in. So I did one or two, and I enjoyed doing them, and they were fairly popular. And actually, my channel really started. My channel had kind of stalled a little bit at around 800 subscribers, and when I started doing that, I suddenly produced some videos which were, getting like 5,000-10,000 views, and I realized that this was actually quite a popular format. People on the whole liked it. Yeah, I had some people saying, you just get clickbait, you just doing this and that, but on the whole I got good positive feedback from it. So I decided to do more of them, and I realized actually that I enjoy doing them and commenting on these things, and that was probably the best way forward for my channel. Now, I'm not going to be sticking to the atheist experience. There's so much material out there, and I'm interested. I've seen a lot of people who put in their title, how I gave up on Christianity, I'm no longer a Christian, after 20 years I'm no longer a Christian. You think, oh, that's interesting. It's great. So you go and listen to it, and you find out that they've given up Christianity, and now they believe that God is one with the universe, and that everybody's one with the universe, or they've got some other kind of belief system which equally has got no justification for believing along with Christianity. So I want to do some commentaries on some of those channels and some of those people, particularly the sort of new agey type. So that's going to be interesting. That's a project which I'm going to get going on, and lots of other things as well. There's so much material out there that, I mean, if I wanted to make a full, if this could somehow pay, if I could make a full-time job out of this, I probably would. I mean, when I say it paid, okay, my channel's monetized. I'll be upfront about that, and I apologize for that if you're having to skip ads and that type of thing. But the fact is that if I didn't monetize, YouTube would still be showing those ads, and they would be pocketing the money. So I figure, well, I'm doing the work, I might as well pocket the money instead of YouTube. And to be honest with you, it's really not that much money. It's about enough for a cup of coffee at Starbucks every week. So, okay, well, a bit more than that, but not much more. So, Oh yes, what I wanted to talk about. Yeah. So this is what really has been annoying me recently when I've been thinking about it. I told a story about, on one of my previous videos, I told a story about how a Christian came to me in a social setting and he said something about Darwin that nobody reads him anyway. And, you know, those people who believe in evolution, they've not even read Darwin. And I made a video about that. And then I got to thinking that I did a bit of research and I found actually he's in the Church of England. The Church of England accepts evolution, and so does the Roman Catholic Church. They've both said, actually both churches have said, denominations have said, their job is not, their business is not science, but they've got no reason. They've said they've got no reason to contradict evolution, and they've said also that the Bible does not necessarily go into conflict with evolutionary theory. And in the view of a lot of people in the Church of England and the Roman Catholic Church, evolution is God's way of bringing man into existence. So yeah, God did it effectively. So my problem is that, or it's not so much my problem. What annoys me is that we atheists, if you're an atheist, that is, we atheists are taking a lot of criticism. We're having to defend evolution, and we're having to defend Big Bang cosmology, and we're having to do all sorts of defense when Christians themselves can't even agree on whether evolution is true or not. In my opinion, a creationist has got no business coming to atheists and promoting or trying to knock holes in evolution and trying to promote creationism. First, go to your fellow Christians. You Christians who are creationists, you should be debating your own people and not coming to atheists, because as a lot of people have pointed out, evolution, the theory of evolution and atheism are not necessarily linked at all. You could disbelieve in evolutionary theory and still be an atheist. So in a sense, I would say leave us alone. Go to other Christians and thrash it out with them. Sort out yourselves, sort out your own house first. And the same goes for Muslims and all the other denominations and religions out there. And Muslims, Jews, Christians, you all cancel each other out. And yet you're getting together in these cozy conferences and you're trying to somehow harmonize your religions when all your religions contradict each other. For Muslims, Jesus is just a prophet. For Christians, he's divine. So Muslims are guilty of heresy. For Jews, Jesus is a false prophet. He's not the Messiah. So you all disagree with each other. What you really need to do, what I would like to see, I would like to see more debates between Christians and Jews. Christians convince Jews that Jesus is truly the Messiah. Why are you coming to atheists and arguing for the resurrection and that Jesus is the Messiah when the chosen people, Jehovah's, Yahweh's chosen people, don't even agree with you? Why don't you go and argue with each other? Why are you pestering atheists so much? Now, don't get me wrong. Actually, I'm glad in a way that you are pestering us, but I just think that you should be debating each other. I think you spend far too much time calling atheist shows when you can't even agree among yourselves. You've got three monotheistic religions there, and you all cancel each other out. There was a British philosopher, I can't remember who he was, but he effectively said all the religions in the world, they're all faith-based, and for that reason they've all got different worldviews, or they've all got different ideologies and everything. They all cancel each other out. In other words, they're like a stack of dominoes. They all literally knock each other over, and there's nothing left. It's like it's been said, they can't all be right, but not only they could all be wrong, but in my view, I'm fairly confident they are all wrong. Okay, well, that's about it. I don't want this video to go on for too long. So that's what I would really like to see. I would like to see more of religions debating each other, and not just focusing on atheists all the time. It's the easy option to come and with the Kalam argument, or something doesn't come from nothing. Look at the birds, look at the trees, etc. Evolution's not true. You can't have any morality. You can't have logic and reason, etc., etc. It's all very well to keep coming to atheists with these well-worn arguments. You've got to go and get your own house in order first and agree among yourselves before really we can take you seriously. Okay, that's all for now. I'll be back again. Let me know if you've got any comments. I'll be back again soon. Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting my channel. Bye for now.